Welcome everybody to Vidyuu Night Studio. Everybody excited for our first ever panel.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'd like to introduce, first of all, we have on the piano Sassy 3K. Sassy, give it up for Sassy. And your host, Oculos 410. I'm going to be hosting today's panel, so thank you all so much for being here. We'll get started by introducing our guests. So starting from left to right.
Hello, I am the real Euphoria.
I am Merc.
And I am Lakes. Yeah.
These three world editors, and I might have one above my name too, all contributed to this amazing world. So throw some confetti for this awesome world that we have specially lit red for Murder Village. So Murder Village is obviously the most amazing game right now on Horizon. So if you haven't checked that out, there is a door right up on that platform. So make sure you check that out. And if you haven't made it out of the mansion, make sure you go to the mansion as well. So let's start it off. Let's start with Real. What was your inspiration behind the mansion and, of course, Murder Village?
Well, it started by I was trying to find some scary games in Horizon, and I actually like horror games a lot. That's what I used to play on like PlayStation, Xbox, and everything. And there were a few, and which were really good, and I just wish there was more. So I started trying to create my own.
Were they
my favorite
real
games
good?
that I first played? They were real good. I always used to play the games like Friday the 13th, Dead to Daylight, stuff like that had like the multiplayer horror genre vibe. But a lot of the horror games I found were single player, so sometimes it's nice to see your friends get spooked instead of just you getting spooked alone.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Merc, tell me your first experience in Murder Village.
Well, the real was like, I've been working on this really scary thing, and I've got this idea with this chopper and all this cool stuff, and I went and checked it out. It was pretty cool. And I was like, I like this a lot.
Was it really difficult to hold back on all of the capacity and all of the objects when you first started creating the syringer?
Oh, well, I knew I had some, I knew whatever I made it with, I had to go in and find something I had to delete in the world. So I kind of made it. I made it.
Definitely a challenge.
And
If there's anything missing in the world, it's Merc's fault.
I mean, the user was going to be having it in their hand a lot of times. I wanted to make it look right. So
Good.
Fantastic. All right. So Lakes, on that same question, I noticed when I went into Murder Village this week, there's a tutorial now, and it was incredible. So tell me, how did you make that happen, considering we've been at capacity for months now?
We have been at capacities for months. It's actually a little insane. And one of the craziest things about capacity in Murder Village is that I've actually been loyal to the system. We kind of know a hack, but we have not used the hack whatsoever because we were afraid that they might take away that and fix the bug, right? And so I have made everybody on this team extremely legit. We make sure that everything is published correctly. We're making sure we have enough text objects. And really, it came down to efficiency. Merc and I have been doing efficiency for a long time now, and Euphoria, when it started this project, was not exactly the most efficient. So we've been able to go through and delete some text objects because text can take up quite a bit of animation and simulation. And there was a couple doors. We had to trade off I think 2 doors total. There was 2 animated doors. We deleted them, made them static open doors, and that was enough capacity to make a tutorial that was extremely lightweight. And it's pretty impressive.
How long have you two been collaborating together, and who asked who to help collaborate on Murder Village?
The funny thing about this is, like, we experienced Euphoria's World Murder Mansion many months, probably shortly after we found your world, the hockey world. It was part of like the World Tours event. We ended up going there.
Yeah.
So, you know, we loved Murder Mansion. It was an incredible experience. And from the first moment I experienced it, I wanted to script with Euphoria. I really was dying. I had a hankering to get in there, write some scripts, and just make the world more fun and, you know, just a little bit better of an experience. It was already an incredible experience, but I was like, I know 2 things that can blow this up. Shoot, Oculus, what's your question?
I have to catch you before you go outside of this question. When you say some scripts, in a percentage, how many scripts existed versus how many exist now? And then continue your thought.
Well, okay, so
Rough
talking about
guesstimate.
Murder Village, I've probably made 4 or 5 times as many as there were originally. Yeah, and like any scripts that were existing, I probably rewrote from the ground up more or less. But in Murder Mansion, I actually have only added 2 or 3 scripts, and there's like a dozen scripts there, but I think only 2 are actually in use. Yeah. Anyway, so I haven't done nearly as much damage there as I did to Murder Village. But to pass this over to Merc, I actually don't know who got involved with Murder Village first. I don't know how we got involved with Murder Village. I can't remember. It's been so long, and it was such a great experience. I forgot.
Well, I think the real had messaged me just to show me what he thought about it. And then right away, I was like, "Yo, Lakes, you got to check out this world, man. It's sick."
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah. I remember just telling Merc
probably 10 minutes
I
after
had this
I
world
saw
that
it.
I really wanted to show him, and I had like a few like rough ideas of like how I wanted it laid out and stuff like that. But then he came in and saw it, and then like we were just talking about like the whole idea and the whole like vision of it, and then I knew like both of them, Lakes came in, and then we both all just like clicked on the idea, and from there we just like started working on it like crazy.
There was a chopper.
So considering where it started and where it is now, can you kind of walk us through the evolution of Murder Village? Because when I first joined it was already incredible, but where it is now is like a next level.
Oh yeah, I think when it started, it just had like the basic like people go in, they were just killed, they found a radio, but the first time it would just always go to I just set it up so it would just go to the chopper. That was like all the game was. And then we started adding these random places that the chopper could go. Started adding the random places that the radio could go, and we started just adding all these little updates. And after updates, we added. At first, we had the teleporter; it only went to the one way, but now we set it up to go both ways, back to the cell, back to the center, and just like slowly over time,
for the killer,
been
right?
working all these small things. And sorry.
No, that's incredible. And one thing that I want to say, when it came to the early stages of Murder Village, it was really incredible, and a lot of people came in and they had fun just off of the base game. But all of these ideas that you came up with, I mean, moving the radio, the knife, giving people an advantage to not just be killed, but to be able to actually fight back against the killer. Like, what did you think about all these changes that were happening? Did it give you more inspiration?
I loved it. I was so inspired to keep working on it, and then as soon as that map came in, my mind was blown. Like that was like next level to me. Like I thought that was incredible.
So Lake, same to you. You were a huge part of all of the changes and all of the ideas. I mean, from beginning to where it is now. I mean, what are your thoughts on how it got to where it is now?
I've always had this thought in the back of my head that I might have done too much, and I'm like really afraid that somewhere inside Euphoria he's like, I don't like you because you do too many changes to my world and my ideas constantly changing.
No, it's working.
No, that's
I'm a little concerned.
Questions won't work.
Yeah.
So the key question: at any point, did you even ask for permission to change his world throughout this entire process?
On more times than I can count. Yeah, more times than I can count.
Good. And that's great. How about with Merc? All of the edits that he made, anything that he wishes he could add in with more capacity?
Oh, man.
Add with more capacity? Probably. I think more map. Maybe just more details, different rooms.
Yeah.
I think what
more
we
porta
did with,
potties. I'm
I was
assuming.
going to say with Murder Village is we really took the idea of taking a world that was fun in the initial, like to start, but then we published it, and then you got a whole bunch of people in there, and through that, it was like an everyday evolution of why isn't this in here, and why isn't this, and why does it like this, and we should do this, and so I think through play testing from not even just the collaborators and testers, but through the public eye, has really evolved it into what it is. It's been changing constantly.
Seriously, you don't understand how much the visitors of the world impacted. I remember we interviewed T. Mark Berman a long time ago, many months ago, early on, and one of his biggest things was about listening to people and what they say.
Yeah, that's great advice, because a lot of our world creators, they have from the very beginning said, after you make a world, you could spend so much time in this amazing section that you think everyone's going to interact with, and then when you watch people actually play your world, they don't even recognize it. So that's exactly right. That's one great point. But on the other side of that coin, I'd like to start with Merc. Is there something about Murder Village, and be critical, because that's how we improve, right? Is there something about Murder Village that you don't like? And I asked Merc first because I want to give Real a really good chance to be critical of
I mean,
himself.
I haven't really thought about what I don't like about it, because we've been constantly trying to fix those things. I guess the one thing that I don't like about it is when new players are struggling and they're like, this tutorial's too hard, and they can't figure out the premise of the game, and they just don't give it a shot. Because I mean, once you get into it and do a couple rounds, it becomes really fun when you kind of get the hang of things.
To totally agree with Merc here. The first 3 rounds for any new person, especially if they become murderer right off the bat, it's the hardest because you're not having the same success as someone who's an experienced murderer. And I think for anybody who hasn't played yet, the trick and the key here is, as the murderer, rather than using it as a gun, which is what it looks like, you can stab, and that really improves your chances. So I think there's some room to be improved there, and we're thinking about how to make that change and make it more beginner friendly, like initial first round being a killer friendly, without making killer OP or like making it way too easy for people who are experienced. But yeah, so I agree. That's exactly what I think is in need of being repaired.
And now over to the real. As critical as you can be of your own world, sometimes we're the biggest critics. What do you not like, and how would you fix it?
Now, after like doing some practice, like editing other places and stuff, I would change how some of the house designs are, and maybe the lobby, how big it is and stuff like that. Just like if I could fill it up more and stuff. But other than that, like I like so much about it. But the houses, like I feel like I'm a much better builder now than I was when I started then. So I feel like I could probably like definitely make that look better for sure.
What's next? Murder Village, Murder Mansion. What's next in that loop for you personally? Not a spoiler on what already Real's talking about, but perfect world.
Well, I think more maps would be cool. I mean, variability. Like,
can you make it out of the next village?
Yeah, but like imagine a farmhouse. Not even a village.
Can you make it out of the continent?
Such a different, like, think of a completely different setting, like something wildly different. And then the next one, make it like one could be like, you could even have like,
how about a carnival,
haunted camp, and then you could do a pyramid with like a mummy. Like you could do so much. You could do every kind of horror theme and just make this kind of game themed around it with different maps.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have plans,
you,
but I don't want to spoil anything. So I don't know. Like, what do I say?
Yeah, I love what we have coming up. I know we've got some ideas in the works. We don't really have time right now. We've got some other projects we're all focusing on, especially with Halloween coming up. I'm actually thinking prequel is next. I know like you're asking what comes after, but honestly, I'd love to see us go to what happened before. Why is the murderer killing? And I'd love to kind of get that backstory. Like we've already got kind of a good storyline going, but just
what did you do to the murderer to make him a murderer?
Oh, you should see. I did a lot.
Free Hugs Village or Free Hugs Mansion, the prequel.
Where it all went wrong.
All right, Real, over to you. Not spoiling what you're working on, but imagination, go wild. What's next in the story?
Imagination, go wild. What could go next? Okay, maybe a chopper crashes on a deserted island or something, or
yes.
Where
tropical
maybe
island.
Everyone wants to see where the chopper goes. I don't know. I'm trying not.
That's true. We got a theme here.
Anything, but
you keep leaving with the chopper, but
the chopper.
Maybe the chopper not so reliable this time. All right. So we're going to go ahead and give a couple of questions to the audience. Put your hand up if you'd like to ask a question of these three: Murder Village, Murder Mansion. We've got New Bro. Come on up, New Bro.
You know how those most horror franchises have those like cheesy random space movies that are stupid but everyone likes? There should be hide and seek like whatever, like 7, where it's like in space.
Murder
Galaxy.
Thank you so much. We've foregone the continent and we're going straight to space.
All right.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Robo.
Spectral?
All right. Next up, Spectral.
You guys briefly mentioned Halloween and kind of some plans, and I know you might not be able to talk about it, but is there any changes to Murder Village or Murder House that are coming with Halloween, or any celebrations we should know about? What's going on for Halloween that you can't share, I guess?
Yes.
There's definitely going to be something in the form of some props and possibly a new building.
Ooh.
Maybe more.
I think.
Nice.
Is it okay if I say this and you can like say
Yeah.
But
He'll say no.
Ah,
after
there
you
is
say it.
something. There is something being worked on by Euphoria, and I've seen it, and it's it's not really related to the Murder Village series, but it's kind of like an homage or kind of a little like. And I think you're really gonna like it. It's gonna be a really great kind of connecting same universe sort of thing. Yeah, I think you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
That was totally non-specific. Great answer. All right. Frost, you're up.
All right, listen to this. There's a village, right?
Oh yeah.
But there's murder going
With you
on.
so far. Stop. Tell me more.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of calling it like Village Murder. I don't know. Woo! Something
Dude.
like that.
You gotta check
I
this
know,
one out. There's one in the
Crazy.
back. It's exactly what
That's
you're
just
looking
like
for.
that.
It's literally the one you're asking
Blow
about.
your mind.
Fantastic.
Oh, what's it called?
All right. It looks
Go check
like
it out.
Murder
It's right
Village.
there.
Murder Village. Right
Nah,
up the hill.
but I'm talking about Village Murder.
Oh, well, go in there and
True,
walk
he
back.
does have a point.
He
Go
does
get
walk
on that
backwards
right
through the
away.
whole village. Come on, Top Hat. Come on up.
Woo! Bring him down. The
Hey guys,
man
it's
with the
me,
hat
Top
without the
Hat.
hat.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. It's me, Top Hat. So, I have been having a question that honestly, this has been buggy ever since I went to Murder Village and Murder Mansion. Wait, it's called Mansion, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the killer's headwear in Murder Mansion is a skull. And in Murder
Yeah.
Village, it's a creepy doll thing. Is that just because you guys wanted to change its design, or is there actually lore to that?
Might be something that connects all the dots soon.
Not a
Just
bad
hold that
thought.
thought, Top Hat.
Yeah, just
I love that. That is such a good catch. You know what? Top Hat,
Thank
you are
you.
the Lord King, and this is why we love you. So yeah, thanks for bringing it. We'll keep you posted.
Hey,
We're
while
not
you're
gonna
up here-
do the deadliest
while you're
killer
up here,
scares.
I would like to ask you, what would you like to be
Ooh.
added or to like a new Murder Village type game or something? Is there anything that interests you being one of the best killers around?
Headwear, like you get to
Blood.
like the villain gets to like who gets to choose their headwear. Maybe like maybe like a cap with Vidyuu's name on it, or something unique to you, or maybe it's just a glowing top hat for reasons.
We need top hats.
Oh,
Clearly.
that's awesome. That's awesome
We
to hear
need
your
top
feedback.
hats.
Thank you.
Life.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Top Hat, so much for your question. Sassy 3K, come on down.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. So just two questions for
sassy?
you, sexy
Just
few. First question is: have you thought about maybe adding like a Hoya water to the Murder Village at
water.
some point in time?
Oh, yeah.
Is there water?
Excellent.
I don't think there's water.
Instead of it being a splash sound effect now, we're gonna change it. It says "Hoya water," and the whole like everywhere around you hears that.
Yeah.
Hoya water.
Amazing.
Of course.
And your second question.
My second question is so like for murder so the way you guys have it formatted in terms of like the game mechanics is that there's two wolves, there's the murderer and then there's the innocents that are trying to escape, like trying to like escape by any means necessary. My question, and this is not necessarily a suggestion, it's just more of out of a curiosity per se. Have you guys thought about maybe adding more roles to Murder Village in some particular fashion?
May I start?
Yep.
Early.
I'd like
That's
to
an
say
early
that
on
there kind of
suggestion.
is at least 3 additional roles. At least 3. They're all user generated roles, which is kind of something that I think we really want to lean more into, which is like the knife. So you can now be the kind of like savior who goes out trying to risk their life to take down the murderer. There's also person who stays in the cell and is pressing and letting people escape. So that's kind of another option as a role. And then there's also the person who assists the murderer, and they can like kill everybody. Oculus's favorite role. But I think there's infinite options really when you start thinking about it in terms of roles, because you can group together, form parties, and like people literally will talk
Some
on
people-
microphones and.
Yeah, some
there's
people just like going in there and using the mic and like being the commentary.
Oh yeah,
on the
and then
game.
you've got the
Oh, yeah,
commentator,
the
right?
commentator.
Yeah. The
Like,
those are the
shoutcaster,
best
and then we
roles.
sometimes see people in the game doing that. So I don't know. I
It'd
feel
be
like there's
cool
a
if
ton
someone-
already there. Nothing official, but it's really fun the way it is, kind of organic and always different for every game. But Euphoria, if you want to finish us off there.
Oh yeah, like everything you said is perfect. However, I would like to work in like some kind of new role into like a future game. Maybe not like Murder Village, because we already have it so set up in like that way, as far as like you can do whatever you want kind of thing. But I'm definitely gonna consider that moving forward for sure.
You
Yeah.
can also totally
Fantastic.
add a "oh yeah" roll to that.
See, ideas for days.
Thank you, Sassy.
If you're really interested in the role type of mechanic, there's a really great world that we were all very inspired by called Murder Manor. And it is a fabulous game which does have a detective role, it has the murderer role, it has the innocent role,
Manor.
and it does a really great job with that. So I definitely recommend checking that out if you like the role type specifically game.
Thank you so much. So, our last bit, this is your 30-second chance to plug anything you want. We're going to start with Merc.
In the celebration of Halloween, I'm making something Halloweeny.
Halloween.
Yeah.
All right. Check out Merc's Halloween.
I'm not good at this.
Next up.
I am not checking
Real.
out Merc's Halloweeny, but okay.
Real. 30 seconds. Plug whatever you want. Well,
I have something that's very similar to this game that's going to be coming out like real soon, within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, before Halloween. And I think that's about all I got working on right now. I'm just really working on that to get it out.
all right. And Legs, 30 seconds. Plug anything you want.
Sub to
Well,
Vidyuu!
thank you all so much for coming out. We'll see you next week. Same time, Pacific, Eastern. What's the thing? Do the thing.
Yeah!
Do the thing.
Do the thing. How do we get out of here? How do we get out of here? There we go.
Waste!
Ah!
Take him out! Take him out!
Ah!
How did that happen?
You've been invaded!
Ooh, what's
Oh my
this?
god! Oh my god!
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna die. I'm going crazy. I'm gonna go crazy.
get off,
I'm
get
going
off,
to
get off.
sleep.
Wait,
I'm gonna go-
don't leave me! Don't leave me!